Rwanda, Eswatini, South Sudan, Uganda, and now Ghana. This is the so-called third country club. And it is only growing. Every few months, more countries join the list. This is all part of Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration in the US. Here's what's happening. The US has signed deals with several nations, mostly in the global south, to accept undocumented immigrants deported from American soil. These are called third country agreements. But this raises some big questions. Yes, illegal immigration is a global challenge, but is this really the best way to handle it? What happens to the deportees once they land in these third countries? Why are so many nations agreeing to take them in? And why is Africa becoming a dumping ground for US deportations? Our next report answers these questions.
Home to about 35 million people, Ghana is the second most populous country in West Africa. And now, it will also house US deportees.
We were approached by the US to accept third-party nationals who were being removed from the US. And we agreed with them that West African nationals, were acceptable.
After a bilateral agreement with the US, illegal immigrant nationals from various West African countries are being sent to Ghana. 14 of them have already arrived in the country. Ghana is the latest country to join a long list of so-called third countries, which have agreed to accept people deported from the US as part of President Donald Trump's sweeping crackdown on illegal immigration. Since returning to the White House, he has clamped down on undocumented migrants and pledged to deport millions of people who are living in the US illegally. So Washington has negotiated agreements to send them to countries other than the US. Now, several countries in the global south have become third countries, including El Salvador, Costa Rica, Panama, Mexico, and Paraguay in Latin America. Last month, the US deported 7 people to Rwanda. In July, 5 were sent to Eswatini and 8 others to South Sudan. Recently, Uganda also reached a third country deal. And now, Ghana has joined the club. But why are these countries signing deals? They want Trump's goodwill, be it in negotiations over tariffs, cuts in US aid, or visa restrictions.
First, we were slapped with 10% tariff that was increased to 15%. And then we're included in 36 countries that were going to be placed on a visa ban. But in the meantime, all 5-year visas were cancelled, and we were restricted to single entry 3 months. It shows the tightening situation in our foreign relations.
Illegal migration is a global issue. It poses several problems, from security concerns to economic burdens. But is this the best way to deal with it? According to UN experts, such agreements have left people stranded in faraway places, at risk of torture and other inhuman treatment. People are being sent to countries with poor human rights records and places they have never lived in. Critics also say the process is often arbitrary. There are concerns about lack of transparency and due process for those deported. And some deportees are imprisoned illegally with no end in sight. And thirdly, there is added pressure on the host countries to bear the burden of deportations, while already facing economic, social, and infrastructure challenges. Which is why some countries have pushed back. Nigeria says it already has enough problems and over 230 million people to care for. Apart from this, there is a jarring pattern here. Fact that mass deportations are being made to South American and African countries, which have historically been seen as unworthy of respect or equal partnership in the eyes of the West. Ironically, mostly Western policies and interventions drove poverty, displacement, and instability in the global South. And now, the region has become a dumping ground for deportations. And not just from the US. The EU and the UK have also mulled similar controversial third country plans. So yes, illegal immigration is a growing global burden. Offloading deportees arbitrarily and without the right systems in place doesn't solve the problem. but only perpetuates it.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktoren,
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Kali radikali.
Japanese,
$4 trilhão mo.
Portuguese,
Por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.